The ground beneath you has never moved, not once in your entire life. You've never had to think about whether the floor itself might betray you. Now take that certainty away. Imagine you're standing outside your home 4,000 years ago, and without warning, without sound, the earth starts to roll like water. No sirens, no apps buzzing in your pocket, no engineers who spent decades studying fault lines. Just the ground, turning against you, and nowhere on the planet anyone could have told you it was coming. For most of human history, that was simply a risk you lived with. So how did people survive something they couldn't see coming, couldn't predict, and couldn't outrun? Let's start with the earliest clue we have. Around 3,800 years ago, a massive earthquake struck the coast of northern Chile. The fault line that slipped stretched over 600 miles, and the tsunami that followed rose 60 feet and traveled 5,000 miles across the Pacific. Archaeologists found the wreckage, toppled stone walls, abandoned settlements, an entire coastline emptied out. The survivors didn't rebuild where they'd been. They moved inland to higher ground, and they stayed there for almost 1,000 years. One earthquake rewrote where an entire people chose to live for 40 generations. That's the first lesson. You can't stop the ground from moving, so you move yourself instead. But some civilizations went further. They tried to build things that could survive the shaking. Take the Inca. Their stonemasons in Peru build walls with a secret built into the geometry. Doorways narrower at the top than the bottom, walls that leaned inward just a few degrees, corners rounded instead of sharp. When an earthquake hit, the stones didn't crack. They shifted, danced against each other, and settled back into place. Machu Picchu has survived 500 years of Andean earthquakes, standing on foundations built with exactly zero mortar.
Then there's the strangest tool of all. In the year 132, a Chinese scholar named Zhang Heng built a bronze vessel ringed with 8 dragon heads, each one holding a ball in its mouth, with a toad waiting below each dragon. Somewhere inside, a hidden pendulum reacted to the faintest tremor. One day, a dragon in the northwest dropped its ball. No one in the capital had felt a thing. Days later, a messenger arrived from 400 miles away, reporting that the ground there had shaken violently. 1,700 years before anyone had a name for a seismograph, someone had already built one. But maybe the oldest warning system wasn't made of bronze or stone at all. In ancient Greece, the historian Thucydides recorded something unsettling: rats, snakes, and weasels abandoning the city of Helike days before it was destroyed by an earthquake. Whether animals were truly sensing the coming disaster or simply reacting to smaller tremors humans couldn't feel is still debated today, but the pattern was consistent enough that people took it seriously long before anyone understood why. And on the other side of the world, in the Pacific Northwest, entire nations carried the memory of one single night in the year 1700, when the ground shook so violently that people couldn't stand, and the shaking lasted long enough to make them seasick. They didn't write it down. They didn't need to. They told it as a story, generation after generation, of a great battle between a thunderbird and a whale, until 3 centuries later, scientists studying tree rings and Japanese tsunami records confirmed every detail the story had quietly preserved. We built machines to sense the earth shaking before Rome had an empire. And today, with satellites and seismographs, we still can't tell you exactly when the next one is coming. The ground kept its oldest secret. We just got better at listening for it.